Canada and the US are like that couple who mostly get along. They share movies, music, hockey, and Tim Hortons coffee. But every now and then, someone forgets an anniversary, or in this case, slaps a tariff on lumber. That's right. Whenever one country gets salty, they stop buying the other's stuff. And honestly, this isn't new. Humans have been throwing economic tantrums for thousands of years. From ancient Athens banning olive oil, to Gandhi boycotting British clothes, to Americans throwing tea into the sea like it was confetti at a frat party. So buckle up, this is the hilarious history of boycotts, history's pettiest breakup strategy. Let's start in ancient Greece. Athens and Sparta didn't just fight wars, they fought over shopping lists. Sparta would go, "You can't have our grain." Athens would reply, "Fine, we'll ban your wine." This wasn't about survival, it was about pride. Embargoes were basically ancient subtweets. It's like blocking your ex on Instagram, but with salt and olives instead of memes. Now picture a Spartan soldier, tough as nails, sitting down to dinner and realizing, no olive oil, dry salad. Tragic. Meanwhile, an Athenian is stuck with stale bread because Sparta banned their imports. Congratulations, gentlemen, you've both lost. Dinner is ruined. Fast forward to medieval Europe. Trade bans became the favorite weapon of kings. Want to punish your neighbor? Don't send an army, just ban salt. Suddenly their food tastes like cardboard. Or cancel wine imports. Instantly, weddings turn depressing. Imagine a knight at a feast, sword polished, armor shining, and the king says, "Sorry, no ale tonight, embargo." Boom! Riot. These bans were so common, they shaped economies. Wool bans crushed industries, salt bans made black markets explode. Boycotts weren't just petty, they were political tools. But the people who suffered most? The peasants, because no one wants to explain to a hungry farmer why their bread tastes like sadness. Now for the blockbuster boycott, the Boston Tea Party. British taxes made tea crazy expensive in the American colonies. And if there's one thing colonists couldn't stand, it was overpriced caffeine. So they said, nope, if we can't drink it cheap, nobody drinks it. They raided ships, dumped the tea into Boston Harbor, and, plot twist, dressed up as Native Americans while doing it. It was basically Comic-Con with political rage. The best part? They didn't actually hate tea. They hated the tax. Colonists still drank smuggled tea the next day, but the image stuck. The Boston Tea Party became America's most iconic boycott, and honestly, also the messiest. Somewhere out there, a lobster was sipping Earl Grey for weeks. Jump to India in the early 1900s. The British controlled trade and forced Indians to buy British goods. Gandhi was like, yeah, no thanks. Instead, he launched the Swadeshi movement, encouraging Indians to boycott British clothes and spin their own cotton. Imagine if today someone said, don't buy H&M, just knit everything yourself. Millennials would riot. But Gandhi turned spinning into a revolution. He made weaving cloth both a protest and a fashion statement. The spinning wheel became India's ultimate logo. It wasn't just about saving money, it was about self-respect. And it worked. Boycotts turned into independence. Basically, Gandhi became the first DIY influencer. Only instead of posting craft tutorials, he was freeing a nation. Now, the Cold War. US and USSR didn't just boycott goods, they boycotted people. Whole Olympic Games were skipped because of politics. Imagine training for 10 years, perfecting your backflip, only to hear, "Sorry, champ, you're not competing. Our president's mad at their president." Brutal. It wasn't just sports. There were full trade bans, cultural boycotts, even bans on certain music and films. One side said, your jeans are capitalist trash. The other said, your ballet is communist propaganda. Basically, the Cold War was a giant middle school fight where the teachers, aka the rest of the world, just sighed and rolled their eyes. Finally, let's talk Canada versus US. Forget tanks and bombs. Their battles are fought with milk, lumber, and maple syrup. The US complains Canadian dairy is too cheap. Canada says American lumber is trash. One week it's softwood tariffs, next week it's aluminum taxes. The drama is nonstop. Canadians are polite, but when trade gets heated, ooh, they clap back. Picture a Canadian Prime Minister slamming a maple syrup bottle on the table like, "Hands off, buddy." Meanwhile, Americans are like, "Fine, pancakes without syrup will survive. Probably." It's a trade war that feels less like World War III and more like a really messy breakfast. So from Spartans banning olive oil, to Americans wasting tea, to Gandhi turning spinning wheels into symbols, boycotts are history's funniest breakups. It's always the same story. You stop buying their stuff, they stop buying yours, and both sides suffer. But hey, at least it makes for a hilarious history lesson. So tell me, which boycott was the most iconic? Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more LOL history, because trust me, history is way too funny to stay in the textbooks.